Hey everyone, it's Kimberly with Unique Finds and Furniture Designs here in Kernersville, North Carolina. And we are about to get underway on a workshop again that we were working on. And so I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to jump on with us. I'm not sure, it may be close to 8 o'clock, but we might not quite be there just yet. So I'm just going to give us a few moments to get everybody on board with us here before we begin this workshop that will be getting underway. And move some of these out of the way because I may come back here to paint. Probably paint in the front though when we are got some people on with us. So give us a moment so that we can wait for some of those gals to jump on. And I have been busy in my workshop, not just working on this piece, which you can see I've kind of taken apart even more extensively than I had initially thought I was going to. Took the back off of it so that I could work. If you're with me, let me know so I can welcome you. Again, my name is Kimberly out of Unique Finds and Furniture Designs here in Kernersville. We welcome you. We thank you for viewing. Thank you for jumping on with us. I do need to get these videos up and running so that we can get them over to our YouTube channel, and I apologize for slacking on that. There's no excuse other than being busy. You guys know how that is. So you get kind of taken away in doing other things. So last time we were here, we were working on this hutch. I was demoing our Dixie Belle slick stick. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a rundown on what I have put on this so far. Inside, I haven't done the inside yet, but I am teetering on that. The same with the inside of the hutch itself on this back side. So I did start, obviously I always start with cleaning my projects really well. And so I do feature Dixie Belle paint products in my workshops as well as other products. When I find that they work for me, I do also use I do use the, what do I want to say? I do use wood filler, different wood fillers if our mud doesn't work, if it's a little bit thicker than that and it's more on a stress-related area, I will use Bondo. I do use some automotive supplies that don't relate to Dixie Belle's every once in a while. So I will use a wood filler putty and different things like that, depending. But I always try to tell you guys prior to exactly what I'm using and how I get the looks that I get. So while we're waiting on people to jump on with us, because it's our 8 o'clock and we normally come to you guys at 8 o'clock. And during this, I'm going to show you guys some of the work that I have been putting out here as far as crafts go. So you guys know I had a craft business, had my workshop up in Kernersville, was in Stokesdale for 3 years. Those of you that know me, and was up in Kernersville here for 2 years. So we've had a brick and mortar for 5-6 years, and I've downsized that into doing a booth vendor type things, which kind of freed me up. Being a homeschool mom, I stay very busy with that, or have been up to this point now that we're at summer. But in doing all of that, I've done wreaths, I've done floral design, we've done wreath decor, floral design, you name it, we've pretty much done it. But I've kind of fallen back into doing some crafting here a little bit, just because we've all been sort of caved in and not staying in place quite as bad as we were, but you guys keeping our hands busy. So I've been keeping my hands busy, so I'm just going to give you a quick look-see at some of these, and they will be headed out. If you are interested in it, you can just comment in the comments below. I have some different things, and also any of you guys that are out there that may not be in my area where you can jump in and pick these up, you will see some of these at our local vendor booths, but that's Nook and Cranny, Cooper's Vintage Village, and also over at Walnut Cove, Just Plain Country. So we do have vendor booths in those 3 locations, And we also have Habitat for Humanity, the Nook and Cranny, and Cooper's Vintage Village. I feature our Dixie Belle chalk paint in those 3 locations. At Walnut Cove, I do not have Dixie Belle chalk paint there, just my painted furniture. So we are known as the Vintage Queen over there. So, so that you guys kind of have an idea of where we are and what we're doing. Thank you for jumping on with us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing and commenting and liking our page. We appreciate that. We appreciate you supporting local small business. And I'm going to share with you some of these crafts that I have done and that are going to be out on market, if you will. And also, like we say, we can do the hashtag. I'm not actually doing a sale tonight, but you know, I'm doing a little bit of everything. So I'm going to move my hutch back out of the way. We will be getting to this hutch, but while we're waiting for some people to jump on our feed with us tonight, I'll just show you some of these crafts that I have been producing during this time, taking care of the kittens and this and that and the other. If you know of anyone who's interested in a, I call it an El Tigre kitten, I'll be happy to show you her. It's a little female, and so we are finding homes for the little ones. They are still kind of small, but I will show you a picture of her. But this is one of our, I know the writing is backward. It says farmhouse on it, so we're doing some farmhouse style crafts. So this happens to be one of them. So this is one style, and then we have this style. I can make these anyway, that we're just kind of playing around with doing some of these. Hey, Miss Terry, thank you for joining me. And I'm showing some of the crafts I've been working on, my wooden door hangers. So before I got started on my hutch and I do a rundown on our hutch, I just wanted to show you what I've come up with and some of the things that I have done. So this says, bless this farmhouse, and this one's just farmhouse style. So I've made some mason jars. We've also done, and I'm just showing you, if anybody is interested in any of these, you can just comment on it underneath, and I will get to you guys with that. And now I've got some, so those are our 2 farmhouse mason jars. They're door hangers, so they're mason jar door hangers for your front door. Bless this farmhouse and farmhouse. And then we also have, I've also made some pineapples. So this one says blessed, and this one says welcome. Now we do have some of these at some of our locations. I do have some of these over at Walnut Cove. I took some over today. So you may see some of there. Hey lady, good to see you here. So there's our pineapples. And then also, so you can tell I've been busy, and also we've made a couple of other door hangers as well. So, so then we have the pineapples. We have mason jars that we've made. I say we, pretty much me. I'm out here in the workshop very early in the morning, so I come out here and I craft in the morning before I get started. So this is a welcome, as well as, so we have the door. These are also door hangers, so they do hang on your door as well. So these have greenery and cotton and the buffalo plaid and the burlap. So these do actually hang on your door. So they're pretty thick. And the word is 3D, so you can kind of see on the side. It does kind of pop out at you. So we do have a few of these that we are selling. We will have them out, or if you're interested in ordering, anybody out there, just let us know. You can just comment below which type you like. We also make the welcome ones and the wooden ones. We also make them in blessed. I think there's a couple over at Walnut Cove that I took over today. So I saved some here so I can just kind of show you guys what we had been working on. So some of them say bless, some of them say welcome on them, and they are kind of like the 3D. Whereas these other ones that you're seeing, these are more hand done. So these are not the 3D lettering, obviously. So that's one of our pineapples, which I had a lot of fun doing these. I enjoy it. And I really like this one, my favorite ones, even though it's yellow, because it kind of resembles a pineapple. And we did kind of a checkered plaid thing, or checkered deal on this one. So these are just some of the crafts that I've just been kind of tinkering with in between waiting on going live with you guys on the Hutch. So again, we have the mason jars, we have the pineapples, and then we have the round wooden door hangers. So very farmhousey for several of them. Obviously, the pineapple is kind of fun and whimsical for summertime. So I just kind of wanted to throw those out to you guys and show you them. If you know of anybody who's interested in those, they will be at some of those locations, or you can just message us right here, and I'll be happy to get those to you, or make you one that is specific to you. So just let me know, because that's what we're kind of doing. Now, going back to this hutch, and I'm going to jump on here. I'm going to let you guys know. So in our last video, I said probably wasn't going to need boss. So this is slick stick on here. I was doing it to just kind of revamp or revisit what we did there. This was cleaned in the White Lightning cleaner, which I showed you. So I did spray and clean this. And then afterwards, I used the slick stick on it, because we were doing it so that we didn't have to necessarily sand. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate you liking our little projects that we've been working on. So the slick stick I did use on this piece, didn't think we would have an issue with boss, and I told you guys that. However, it does happen once in a while, and it did happen to me, and that's why I didn't go any further on this piece. You can see when I went off the live, and you come in, and I will show you, because I said we didn't have to use boss. Well, guess what? It started to, and I don't know if this camera shows you guys very well or if it just went blurry, because sometimes it will, but maybe you guys can see the yellowing here. Now, so I didn't put boss on this, and remember I told you that slick stick is going to help you apply your paint and work great as a primer. However, it is not boss, and it will not stop bleed through. Do you remember me saying that on the last video? This is what happens, okay? But it's okay, because I did go back over it. If that does happen to you guys, I just want to pull you in and show you guys. If that happens, don't panic. Just let it dry. Just let it cure, let it do whatever it's going to do. And the next day you walk out and you see that doing it, don't worry at all. Just get your boss. That's all you got to do. And I had it here. I thought I had it here. Did I? What did I do with it? Huh. Anyway, just get your boss, and you can, I'm going to look right here. I might have used it up. I don't think I did. Let me see. Sorry. Here it is. Sorry to say, I knew I had it here. So I did take the Dixie Belle Boss after my slick stick is dried and cured, completely cured. This is sat. I did come back in, and this is clear boss. I mean, it looks a little bit bilky in the jar, but it actually goes on clear. So I went all over my piece where I seen the yellowing coming through. See, that's what happens a lot of times, and I always tell you guys, don't even worry about thinking about it. Just boss it before you do anything else. But because I was doing the workshop with the slick stick, I did emboss it. And this is what happens. Had this been my paint, you would have seen all this yellowing coming through my paint. Thank goodness I didn't paint it. But I did come in and apply my boss right over my slick stick. Dixie Belle paint products are made to work together. Ideally, I would have put my boss on first and then my slick stick if I needed it. But in this case, I put my slick stick on. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put my boss on it, and I'm going to let it dry. So that's what I did. Yesterday, when you guys weren't here, since it was Wednesday, I came in and I bossed everywhere I saw this yellowing happening. So that should stop it, and we should be good to go. And I will be, and a question was asked on our last live, that how do I keep from painting my doors shut? Well, most of the time when I'm painting, I paint with my doors open. And if you know me, you know I paint over my hardware. It'll still wear off just right where the hardware actually moves, where the motion is. So you're good on that. It's not going to be a problem. Yes, it looks thin. This is nothing more than slick stick and some gloss here. There's no paint on here yet. So it is going to look a little bit like you're seeing it where it's not done. I'm debating, I did take the whole back off of my piece because of what I was doing to the back of my piece. And I'm kind of saving that till we showcase this piece at the end. But I did pop it off just to make it easier for me to get to the inside and get a complete paint job done in there. But I am debating whether I want to paint a like manatee gray on the inside, which I'm kind of thinking I might want to do. And also I will be bossing, from what I think right now, I will be bossing the inside of these cabinets, and I will be painting them the manatee gray as well. I think it'd be a nice little contrast. Subtle, manatee gray is still sort of subtle. Now driftwood is even lighter than the manatee gray. They're in between. You know, you've got the driftwood, you've got manatee gray, and then you've got your deeper gray, your hurricane gray. So I'm gonna do in the middle, which manatee is in the middle. And driftwood is really, really light. So I'm debating whether I'm going to do that. I even debated on doing the inside in Dixie Belle Blue, which would be really cool. Be a nice contrast against the white. So you never know with me. We'll see as we go along. But I did want to touch on this tonight and let you guys know if you get in a situation and I can come in and I can put, probably come in here and put some of our fluff on this so that you guys can see how it does. My gardenia bush is blooming, and I just love gardenia. So I had a little gardenia bush, and I brought it into the workshop so it would smell pretty in here. I just love the scent of a gardenia. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, since I wanted to talk to you guys about the boss and the slick stick. So remember, that's normally what I would tell you anyway. Anything in the 1960s, just boss it, save yourself the trouble. But because we were doing this workshop prior to, just to kind of show you that you don't have to sand something every time you go to paint it. So that's what the slick stick process was all about. And it did help, it helped one of our young ladies. This is Dixie Belle Fluff. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to paint some for you guys so you guys can kind of see. I do have two brushes with me. You know, I have my oval medium and I have my mini flat. So I have both of those. I can choose to use whichever, and you guys can use whichever one just fits best in your hand. I do really like the minis. Sometimes with the mini, in my opinion, you can like flick your paint over on something that happens to be drying over here. So that's why you see most of the time everything I normally have it covered, just for that reason. I like to keep it covered so that, I think I hear my little dog, or I might have heard the little kitten. Might want to bring her on here and let you guys see her real quick. And so I have one little kitty that's going to be looking for a home, a little female, and I'll show you her. They have been growing like little weeds. Let me see if I can pull her out. Oh, come here, sweetheart. Oh, yeah. Let me just take one of you. I'll just take one of you. So you guys remember we found these little boogers. So this one is has beautiful markings. See her little markings? Say hello. You're so cute. Yes, you are. Wait now, you're okay. So they're much more friendly than they used to be. And she's like, oh, that's kind of scary. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. This one has beautiful markings. Let's see if I can get her to purr, because they have been purring and being so sweet. Yeah. So she's super pretty. It's kind of hard to see all their markings. Wait a minute, little missy. Okay, hold on. She's gonna go explore around the yard. My little girl has actually, here you go. Say hello. She's like, I don't like it. She's got a little fat belly. They just had dinner, so they're all happy now, aren't you? So she plays with them. She has them on little harnesses, a little kitten harness. Yeah, you purring now. See, they're just a little bit frightened. So she wants to say hello. This is the little cutie patootie. So we had the black one, and then we have a sister. This is a little girl, and then we have another little girl in there. So we had 3 of these little boogers. So they're all tame now. They're not all wild animals like they were when we found them. So that's a little update on the little kitties. If somebody's interested in her, she's looking for a tweet home. Yes, she is. She believes she's indoors. She's an indoorsy. Yeah, you an indoorsy, aren't you? Okay, we'll go back to your sister who brought us. There you go. You wouldn't believe how these little guys wrestle. Little wrestling kitties. Thankfully, I'm not allergic, so I don't have too much of an issue with it. So if you know someone who's interested in a little sweet puffball, you guys know where to find me. So I'm just gonna pull this open, and I'm gonna bring you guys in a little closer so you guys can see. Let me see if that's gonna be, maybe I'll push y'all down. Just bear with me as I try to get you at the level you need to be. I'm just gonna kind of bring you down so you can kind of see what I'm working with here. So this is just got nothing on it here other than, and let me see if I have my little, sometimes I like to, like I said before, I like to knock it down a little bit with my little sanding sponge. And I use my sanding sponge over and over and over again. That's why I can't find it. I use them and use them and use them and use them. You wouldn't believe how you can still use the real fine. So if you can feel any of the brush strokes, it helps to just kind of knock them down a little bit with your sanding block. I have one here, but this isn't the one I would normally use. So you can kind of knock it down if you needed to. Just kind of run your sanding block over it. Mine is not, there's not any issues. I think it'll be fine. And I'm going to use a dust rag, because if you did sand this down a little bit, you do want to come in with your damp cloth and make sure that you're not leaving any dust behind. So that's always a good way of doing it. Just always get ready to use it. And now I have my brush is not even damp. It's a dry brush, and it is my oval medium. It's kind of my go-to brush. And I'm gonna dampen my brush. I always start with a damp brush. And I never start with a dry brush. Now if I'm dry brushing like I did on, let me just show you. On this piece, so this is dry brushed. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. So I painted it, and then I came in and dry brushed some wax, black wax, to give it that kind of farmhousey look. And I did the same with, I don't know if you can see it as much on this one, but I did paint this with this is Manatee Gray here that I painted on here. So I painted the Manatee Gray on, then I came in, you can see some of the white in here. So I came in with a dry brush and added some of the white in there, as well as some black wax. So that's how I kind of gave it that distressed look. So that's kind of fake distressed, if you will, where you're not showing the wood underneath. But so this is Manatee Gray. I painted the whole board in the Manatee Gray. Then I came in with my black wax, and I dry brushed my black wax in on it, as well as some of our fluff that you see here, some of the white in here. So that kind of gave it more of a distressed look. I don't know if you can see quite so well on camera as I can in person. And I set my brush down. So that's how I created those looks. And you can do the same with furniture. It doesn't matter whether you're using it with furniture, whether you're doing it with crafts. It really doesn't make any difference at all. So I'm just going to get going on here. So I did choose to use the fluff on this piece. I love this piece. It's a beautiful piece. And I'm just going to kind of go along here and show you. And I'm not in my grubbies. Most of the time I'm in grubbies when I'm painting. And my finger is cut on the inside, it feels like. So it's a little sore. So if I seem like I'm favoring my brush, that's why. So this is the fluff This is straight, now this is straight paint. Okay, I was using, remember we talked about using the slick stick as a primer. And I probably should have used different pants because you know how you are. I always worry about flicking the brush. And that's why I was trying to say, sometimes you'll flick the brush and it'll flick paint on something that you have around you. So fortunately, I don't. Now I will, most likely, I'm probably gonna come in here and give this Hutch some distressing. Now you could have come in here if you like. You could have come in here and done this, just this lip all the way around dark and like a stain. However, that wasn't what I was thinking of doing with this piece, but you could have done it that way if that was your preference. And so you see I do have my door open while I'm painting. And I'm just gonna move on. And I'm just gonna bring you around with me. I know sometimes that messes up the pixels on the camera when you move things around in front of it. So I'm going right over the Boss now and the Slick Stick. So those are two products that are, both of them are are problem solvers. So they are on here. And if my finger wasn't sore on the back side, that's the thing when you start to paint, the less pressure that you have on your brush, the less strokes you're gonna see when you're painting. So that's kind of important. And so I'm gonna kind of bring that door around and I'm gonna come around you guys. I'm just kind of rolling around on my little chair here. And never mind if you see a mess, because sometimes my area can be a big mess. So I'm just gonna come, since I'm coming around this corner, I'm just gonna complete coming around the corner so that I don't have as many brush strokes. So that it's all kind of one stroke in here and getting my paint on. I have more control when I can kind of crimp down, choke down on my brush a little bit. So I spend most of my time holding this part of the brush. That's why I can kind of back off the pressure, because I'm holding the main part of the brush with my fingers on the metal part, if that makes sense. So it gives me more control over my brush strokes, where I can just kind of back off the pressure, back on off the pressure. So, and you know, I'm gonna creep back over this way with my little creeper, and we'll bring y'all with me, hopefully. So yes, you see I've got my backboard back there. I'm gonna kind of pull this in front of me, and I'm just gonna come right on around so that I can swoop my paint along here with me and not flick it everywhere. So I wanted a nice farmhouse white. I don't do a lot of white furniture, and I've said that before. I don't normally do a white. Most of the time I am thinking in color, if you will. I have a piece of trash in my paint. So that's just basically how I am able to kind of let off the pressure and hide some of those brush strokes. So, and that's just the lip. So you'll be able to see the amazing coverage. I'm gonna drop y'all down a little too as I lower, and that's always the case because I'm always gotta get off of my stool and get onto the floor. So let's see if I can get you down here gently without, whoops, sorry for the bobble there, guys. Hopefully y'all are still with me. And I'm gonna get off my stool and get on the floor. This is the hardest part, on the knees. I'm working with a concrete floor, so I feel it. So because this is not paint, I'm not using my Mr. bottle right now because that's my first coat of paint. It is not, so I don't really need to, or am planning on wetting my paint. Now, if that was my second coat, I would. Chances are I'm not going to need a second coat because obviously I use the Slick Stick and it's working for me as a primer. So if you guys seen from the last, if you need to, you could dampen your brush or mist your brush along the process, and that would work just fine. So if you needed to. So of course, I'm probably, like I said, going to be a splatter painter tonight. The only time I splatter is when I have jeans on. And that's what'll happen. I'll splatter. I like doing these, especially this type of a hutch or this type of a French provincial piece, because they are fun to do when you are blending. So this would be a fun project to blend. But I'm just going white this time. I have you know, that's kind of what it just really depends on your client's taste buds and what you're doing for your clients. And you guys know me, I like to do a little bit of everything. It doesn't bother me any way, shape, or form, other than, like I tell everybody, you know, just, you can find so many ideas over there on Pinterest that if you are undecided, you can always shoot me 2 or 3 images of the things that you're interested in, and we can kind of, as Miss Terry will tell you, we can kind of get in your head and go from there, and we can produce, you know, pretty close to what you're looking at or what you're looking for. And if I can't do it, or I shouldn't say if I can't do it, or if you want to do it, I can kind of show you the same and get to help you get that look that you're working, that you've got set in your mind. So we can do that via phone. I can do Facebook, what do I want to say? Facebook FaceTime. So if anybody's interested in that, because we haven't been doing our workshops, if you're interested in doing a FaceTime and you are looking to paint some of your pieces, you know, just connect with me. I'm always available, or I try to be available when I'm not working on something for a client. I am available to try to teach you the best I can to help you get the look you want. And, you know, don't feel like you're bothering me any. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you understand and be able to use these amazing products, because once you start using these amazing products, you'll be sold. I've talked to lots of people that use a lot of different products, and that's okay, because, you know, getting that experience of using the different products, sometimes one product might work better for a project than another person's product, and hey, guess what? That's okay, because that's just building your repertoire on your knowledge and your skill with your different paint lines. Not against that at all. We all kind of hold a little bit of something different in each of our paint lines. So, you know, sometimes they're interchangeable and compatible. And if it pulls off the look you're looking for, then you by all means go for it. And I think, you know, whatever gets you the desired look is the most important thing. And that to me is my job, helping you guys understand how to get the products to comply to your needs. And that's what I'm here for when it comes to Dixie Belle products and my business. My business is making you the priority and teaching you guys how to interact those products together to get the best look. So like I said, you're seeing how wonderful the coverage is going on. Now you guys know, oh, thank you, Terry, you're so kind. These, how to get these colors, especially when you're doing a white and you're going over, well, you can't tell now, but you know, when I do the finished project here, you'll see how dark this hutch was. Or, you know, or you can just open up a cabinet door and you can look inside and see, you know, the darkness there. So when you reach your hand in there versus the outside of this piece, you can just see how it just upscales the piece to, you know, to today's wants and needs. So you see, I went all around this first. You hear the cats, they're back there fighting. So I went all around. I don't mean to say they're fighting, they're rough housing. All around the outside of my drawer before I did the inside of my drawer. So, you know, if you wanted to just kind of up the ante a little bit, you could always put some kind of a nice transfer on this. Just depends. It really just depends. If it's your piece, you could do, you know, the sky's the limit. You guys know that. We have all kinds of products out there to use. There's the wood you bend. There's, you know, transfers. There's all kinds of stuff, you know, clay. There's, what is it? The, where you can, the molds, that's what I mean to say. So you have the molds, you have the transfers, you have the wood you bend, you just have everything at your fingertips. So the sky's the limit. You guys can do it. I know you can. And like I said, if you need any questions that I can help you with my products or Dixie Belle products, it's my pleasure to help you any way I can. So you can see the coverage that you're getting with that. The reason you're getting this coverage, most of the time Dixie Belle Fluff covers really, really well. So this is white going on. Not gonna need a second coat. So you can see the difference here between the white that you're seeing here. And now tonight when it dries, you'll be able to, and come back out, you'll be able to tell whether your boss did anything for you. So yeah, I can see at the bottom, of course you're not seeing at the bottom here, I can pull you down here. So I can see here at the bottom it looks kind of yellowed. Bear in mind that I did put the boss on there to stop that. So it looks yellow right now, but I did boss it to keep it from coming through my paint. So I did stop it, so don't think that you can not save it. You can. You don't have to go back and do all the steps over again. It was washed, it was cleaned, it was slick sticked. But the slick stick, like I told you in the live, and it's kind of good that it happened because I'd like to show you guys, no matter how many times you do this daily for years, there's always a piece that'll slip in and something will happen. So just don't freak out about it. Just roll with the punches like we do everything else here that's going on around us. And just kind of just keep going. Just keep going. Don't quit. Put your boss on it. Just leave it sit overnight. I always tell everybody, let it sit overnight. Let it get cured. And then, see, I'll move my drawers. Because a lot of people say, how do you keep from painting your drawers shut? I always do mine this way. Because, you know, I might want to do a little something special on the insides of these afterwards. And a lot of times I'll come back in where you see this paint on the top and clean that off and use Big Mama's butter on that and leave that original, just a little bit of wood peeking in there. So, I mean, it's all up to you. And obviously your clients, if you're working with clients, like I do. So I always try to go in and get it where, and remember, I will probably be coming in here, most likely I'll be coming in here and adding a little distressing. And I may add that distressing with paint. I may add it with, I may end up adding some, see a little, what do I want to say, with my waxes. So you can wet distress this. You can come in and you can distress with paint. You can do, and that's by using a dry brush. So you can dry brush and distress, like I was showing you on those door hangers that I just finished. So the sky's the limit, what you can do. So I'm just gonna go up and down here, and then once I do that, then I come in and make sure all my strokes are going the same way. Just kind of a technique I've used and learned. I've learned to do that when I've learned to do that when I am blending for sure. So when you're blending in a piece, I always paint my hardware. I know everybody panics when you paint the hardware. Trust me, I'm gonna come in and pop this hardware. You're gonna know it. And I always, that's my trademark. Painting my hardware. And again, if you feel like your brush is getting dry or dragging on you, you can mist your brush, which has your paint on it, instead of misting your piece necessarily when you're doing this, because this is not a blend, obviously. I'm just getting some paint on this. And I probably have less than 8 ounces in this can. And you guys are seeing how much I'm getting painted. And this is the fluff that I'm using. So again, I move my drawers around. You can pull them open, out, however. If my finger, those little kittens, they are comical. You hear them fussing at each other over there. I never realized, but I guess they're siblings. So I guess it's the same, like with humans, sibling rivalry going on over there. And they're agreeing with me. Listen at them. Little feisty little devils now. So this is just fluff. So I will come in here. I'm just going to move along so you guys can see. Kind of coming in and getting the basic part of the main part of the hutch painted. And then I'll go up there and paint around all of that and then the inside. What are your thoughts? Hey, Miss Sheila, how are you? On this French provincial hutch and giving some new life. And from rags to riches, hopefully. So it used to look like that on the inside, so very dark and dreary in there. So you see, this is the fluff. This is the color I was going to use on Missy's fireplace. Fluff and manatee gray and a sponge and me and Missy. And one of these days, we're going to get it. We're going to get out. We're going to get it done. Because I know she wanted to do her brick fireplace. I think she primed it or something already. From the last time I was there. So yes, you see, I do go right over my hardware. Because where it opens, it'll break the paint away. And I'll distress all around it, and it'll blend in just fine. So I am going over. Sorry about that. I don't know how I lost y'all. But sorry, guys. We had a broadcast interruption there. I apologize. I'm not really sure what went on. I'm misting my brush again. So I'm just kind of misting my brush along as I go. You don't necessarily have to. This is not a second coat of paint. This is the first coat of paint on here. I apologize for whatever just went on, whatever delayed us. But it did just show that we had a broadcast interruption on our live, and I apologize for that. And it might do it again. So I don't know if that's my cue to wrap it up, but I am going to work away on this piece while you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I may go grab a glass of red wine and just sit here and paint. That's right up your alley, right, Miss Sheila? Too bad you're not closer to me, young lady. We could have a few evenings, sit around and have a glass of wine and shoot the breeze. Oh, how I miss all of my family and friends and back home. I pray everybody is safe and staying safe. And I am just going to continue on painting away at this piece. And we will jump back on here. Probably it'll be Tuesday. It may be done by Tuesday, and I may stage it, and then you'll see it there. But I do try to bring these pieces, each piece that comes into the workshop, whether it's mine or whether it's a client's that I'm working on, I try to bring those as 101 workshops so that you guys can see a plethora of projects going on and how to work individually with each different challenge, because that's what I love about having different projects come in, is not only giving me a challenge, but challenging me to teach you guys, or I should say guide. I don't like to use the word teach, but to guide you guys how to get the same look that I do here in my workshop, in your home, and with your pieces. Those of you who are individually painting your own and doing your own work. And that's my goal, to show you guys how to accomplish that via these workshops. So I appreciate you jumping on with me. I thank you for sharing, liking, and being here with us tonight. I hope you got a chance to look at some of those crafts that we did earlier. I'm going to continue on since my brush is wet, and I'm going to go on and get the rest of this paint underway. And in the meantime, I hope you guys have a very blessed weekend, a safe weekend, hopefully a dry weekend, and we can get some sunshine back in our area again. So until then, I want to thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great one, and I will shout out at you later. Bye, guys. Thank you for viewing.